up YouTube, it's your girl Jada Janae and I am back with another video. As you already see by the title, today I'm going to be doing a quick weave install. Y'all know I am known for my side part, so today I'm going to be giving you guys an updated tutorial on how I achieved this look using these bundles that I got from CurlsQueen hair. This was one of my favorite installs yet. I'm super excited to show you guys how I got it. Major shout out to CurlsQueen for sponsoring today's video. Today they sent me over 3 bundles of their body wave hair. I wanted to go for a super full look, so I got their Ultra Glam 3 bundle 450 gram bundle package. Got these bundles in 24 inches, and what I love about CurlsQueen is how full their bundles are. In the year of 2025, it's super hard to find hair that is thick from the root to the ends and also have really full bundles. This one of their bundles is equivalent to about 2 of today's brands, so I really love that. As y'all see, look at how thick the top of those bundles are, and look at how thick it is all the way to the ends. It was absolutely beautiful. It had a nice sheen and texture to it. I'm excited. First, you're gonna start out with clean blow dried hair. Depending on how you want your hair to lay, you're gonna start pulling out your part. I didn't want a super deep side part, only because I didn't want to wear it fully in my face, so I'm parting a little higher up than I typically would for a side part quick weave. The lower you go, the deeper the side part will be, and like I said, I did mine about midway up my hairline because I didn't want it to be super deep. So make sure you define your part out really good, and then you can go in and start designating edges that you would like to leave out. This part is really personal preference. I know some people who don't like to leave a lot of edges out. I kind of prefer to leave a good bit out just because I like to kind of tend to my edges a little bit better when they're out as opposed to up into the style. And also I feel like that helps with the naturalness of it. Just in case the wind blows or I want to pull my hair back or up, I have a good bit of coverage in the front. My hairline is quite a bit damaged, so I do keep it out just so I can pay more attention to it and have less tension on it. So I do the same on the other side. I leave a good bit of hair out in the front, and like I said, this also helps with little styles that I may do with a claw clip or half up half down. There's ways that you can maneuver at quick weave even if it's not styled in a certain way, so I do like to have a little extra leave out. You're gonna take that hair out the way, and then you're going to braid out each section of your leave out. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a way to get it out of your face. You can even do a twist or just clip it to the side. Alright, so the part where our actual leave out is, you want to make sure you do it very precise so that you can get an equal amount on each side. Zoom the camera in so you can see fully what I'm doing. Using my rat tail comb, I'm going to part off one section on the left side of my defined part that I made, and I'm going to use the end of my rat tail comb to make sure that it is enough hair. If you can see the tail of that rat tail comb, that means you need to add more hair. As you see, I don't see it too much, but I know my hair, and once it's pressed, you will probably see it. So I'm gonna go back in and add a little bit more. Depending on your hair density and kind of how your hair is straight, you will need more or less leave out. I tend to do a little bit more only because my hair is on the low density side. If your hair is higher density, it has more coverage to cover the tracks, and you may be a little better off. But you just want to make sure all these parts are straight before you start braiding, because you will not be able to go back over this once you complete the quick weave. So you want to make sure you do all of that right in the beginning so that you have enough hair. You don't want to get to the end and be like, dang, I don't have enough leave out. So pay close attention to this part. Now, once again, these braids don't have to be perfect, just as long as you're sectioning it out the way. And then you're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side, and just make sure it's even with the other one so that it covers the track the same way. Also, I'm not the best braider, so don't mind my braids, especially with nails. It's kind of hard. Like, I really can only braid real good with my nubs, so I'm trying, but y'all see what's going on. I see a lot of people talk about their leave out and their hair. It really has nothing to do with length. As long as your hair is like 2 inches, don't be afraid of your leave out. It's gonna blend. Alright, so this is my entire section for my leave out. I'm going to clip that little braid out of the way, and we're going to get started on the actual foundation. This is me just using a mirror to make sure that all my parts in the back are straight, and they are. You can go about your foundation many ways. You can braid your hair, you can mold your hair, or you can do like a little slick back, which is kind of like a mold as well. I'm not gonna lie, most of the time I do prefer braids. Slick back is a little bit easier, especially if you aren't the best braider. But I do like to do a slick back because I feel like it gives me a little access to my scalp throughout the process of the installation, and it also just holds a little more longevity. So I feel like with the braided foundation, my quick weave is able to last for up to a month, maybe plus. With a slick back, whenever I do like a mold down, my weave maybe lasts 2 to 3 weeks. After that, it's kind of come out. So if you don't plan on wearing it too long, then a slick back may be better for you. As you see, these are my braids, big dookie braids. You do not have to do small little perfect braids unless that's just your preference. Honestly, the bigger braids gonna do the same thing as the small ones. Gonna nourish my scalp and make sure that that's taken care of before I apply my cap. This is the stocking cap I'm gonna use. I stopped using black caps. I don't know why I prefer the brown ones better. I feel like it helps me be able to see what I'm doing a little bit more. Also, with taking it out, it makes it a little bit easier too. But black or brown will do the trick. Even nude, it really doesn't matter, just as long as you have a stocking cap. So for the first step of securing my cap down, I'm gonna go in with a needle and thread. This part is completely optional. I feel like this just adds a little bit more security to the cap while I'm installing. Honestly, once you put the glue on the cap, it's gonna start sticking anyways, but I just like that thread there because I feel like it's a little bit more of a reinforcement. So I'm trying to show y'all how I kind of do it. I just loop it through the needle, and I don't even knot it. Honestly, I just go through and loosely sew a quick little layer of thread around the very back. Like I said, it just adds a layer of security for my cap. Alright, so now for your liquid cap, this is probably the most important step. This is a liquid shield, and this is going to protect your hair from any glue. This is going to make your removal super easily. All you got to do is apply a little bit of water. This is the key to a quick weave, and there's multiple different brands. This is the one that I use because it's sold in the store near me. All you're going to do is just apply this all over your cap, everywhere but your leave out. And this is why I say that I like to use the brown caps, because you're able to see through it a little better, as opposed to the black. It can kind of all blend in like y'all see me doing. I'm just applying this all over. Not only is this going to protect your hair, but this is also going to adhere that cap down to your hair, and this is basically 2 steps. You can use the liquid cap and no cap, but with the cap it's even more protection. So I'm just applying that all over using an applicator brush. Some people use their fingers, combs. You can really use anything that you have. I feel like I get a cleaner application with this brush, but as long as you fully saturate the cap, it's gonna do what it's supposed to do. Just a PSA and a pro tip: if you can wear something you don't care about when applying this, please do, because I can't tell y'all how many pajama sets and cute little tops that I have ruined by letting this fall all over it. It just, once it's on something and it hardens, it's kind of hard for it to come out, and I haven't found a remedy to get it out yet. So please be careful with this stuff because it'll get in your clothes, stain it, and it's kind of hard to get out. So before you start applying tracks, you want to make sure that you fully blow dry or let this dry all the way, because it does not really serve a purpose if you don't. So if it's not hard and shiny, then it's not going to protect you as if it is. So make sure you're letting this fully dry so that it does what it's supposed to do. All right, so you know the cap is dry once it feels kind of hard to touch and it looks kind of shiny. I like to cut a good bit of the excess cap before I start applying tracks. My bundles hanging, they were air dried because I co-washed them. They dried into this beautiful body wave texture. This is me showing y'all the length of these bundles. These are double of my wingspan. That's really so crazy. This hair is so full. On to the install. Doing a quick weave is like an arts and craft project. I literally tell y'all that every time I do one of these videos. So many variation and ways to get the same outcome. them. If you want them to fall closer to your face, curve those tracks to fall directly into your face. If you want a more natural, you know, kind of hanging down look, just place them straight down. So basically for your first couple of tracks, you're just going to take your whole bundle and you're going to measure a place in the back. I will say when I'm starting out that my tracks are relatively short, especially because I try to put as much hair as I can. If you're using 3 to 4 bundles, you want to make sure that you're placing your tracks pretty close together so that you can fill that hair up. Like I tell y'all all the time, if you do end up running out of hair, you can always snatch some from the back. I prefer to use all the same lengths because I feel like it flows better in my opinion. But if you are using different lengths, you may have to cut it. But don't be afraid to just pile them tracks on, because the more the merrier. If you love full hair, you gotta squeeze that hair onto your head. It's honestly really hard for me to explain exactly how this process works, but all you're doing is measuring it for your specific head, applying your glue, and making sure that it dries properly. That's really the key to it. I start out with my tracks straight across. The higher I go up the head is when I start curving them. Like I said, for most installs, especially if I'm going to be wearing them long term, I don't like to curve them too far into my face, just because that can get a little bit uncomfortable for me, and because my hair is black, sometimes the dye can affect my skin, so I try to keep it a little further out the way. But if you are applying it closer into your face, it will fall, you know, more vivacious. It'll be a lot more like styled blowout, but sometimes for me that just does not work. So placing those tracks straight across, and then we'll get to the top of the head and I'll show you guys how I curve them. For detail, this is me measuring it across my head. You're going to hold your finger in the spot where that measurement ends, and that is where you're going to cut, and that will serve as your next track to place. And that's literally all you do. You apply your glue, and then you're going to apply a little bit of heat, and then you install that track. Now, as I'm working my way up, y'all are seeing me curve, and as dramatic as you curve is as dramatic as the fall will be. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes you do want to give a little more drama. Sometimes you want a more everyday look, and this is how it will be dictated. Once I get relatively close to my leave out, I'm going to cut out that box just so that I can see what I'm doing. Be super duper careful. This is why my leave out on my side part is so short, is because I have cut it before. And baby, once you cut that hair, it will not grow back for a long time. Not a long time, but it did. I cut my hair super short. So just be careful is all I'm saying, because once you cut it, you're going to have to wait for that mug to grow back. And who wants to do that, especially when you're wearing these leave outs? Honestly, as I'm closing out the quick weave, all I do is just apply baby tracks to close it up. As I get closer to my leave out, I want to make sure that my tracks are pretty close, because any gaps will cause it to look kind of spacey, and you want to keep the same overall fullness throughout the hair. You don't want it to be super full at the top, but you don't want it to be like thin. You don't want it to be thin at the bottom and then thick at the top, or thick at the top and then thin at the bottom. You want it to be kind of all the same. So I'm placing my final track, and this is gonna perimeter my entire leave out. And yeah, that's the final track, y'all. That's what y'all see me placing right now. That's the final track. Going in with my blow dryer to make sure everything is nice and secure. Once I place all of my hair in, I take my hot comb and just flatten everything out. The last thing we want is a bumpy, lumpy install, so I'm just making sure it's flat. Prior to me blending my leave out, I'm going to kind of do something with the hair, to do as much to the hair as I can before I mix my hair, because that just limits heat usage, prevents you from cutting anything and all of that. So I just went in with some light face framing layers. I can do a detailed tutorial on that, but I didn't do super heavy layers at all because I wanted to maintain the length of this hair. And then I'm gonna go in with some light body curls. This video isn't necessarily about the curls. I did do a curl tutorial on this hair, so if y'all would like to see that, I will link it as well. But Yeah, I just did a couple of curls. So once I've mostly styled the hair, we're gonna get into blending this leave out. This is the part that I get the most questions about. Now we about to get into it. I'm just gonna take out my braids and I'm gonna use some type of serum. Today I'm using the Kenra. Other days I use Design Essentials. This is all preference, but this is just what I use. A nice serum that is a heat protection as well as some type of silkening gloss. So for my leave out, I like to do a nice double press, but first I'm going to make sure my part and everything is where I want it. And if you did the first step correctly, it should already be in place. So I do like to do a double press. I go in with my hot comb first on medium heat and I press my hair from roots to ends. Make sure your hair is hitting the back of that hot comb if you are a type 4 girly, because you're blending your hair, you want to make sure that it gets as straight as possible. I literally go over my edges and my leave out with this hot comb, and this is going to give me the best press to where I don't have to keep going over my hair every other day. After the initial press, what makes this a double press is I'm gonna then go in with my flat irons. These are also on about medium heat, not too high, and I'm gonna go and press my hair completely out. This is what gives me that nice straight leave out. Now, this is not damaging, this is not heat damage, because as long as you have your tools on a decent temperature, they're not gonna do any damage, and also the serum you're using is gonna help you as well. So I'm just pressing that out, doing a nice little double press, and that's how I blend my leave out, y'all. And this helps me and saves me for a good amount of days. I don't usually have to go over it too often, so yeah. Now I'm gonna go in with my wax stick and just flatten it out a little bit more. You don't want to overdo it with the wax stick because they can be a little oily sometimes, but they do help. Then gonna take my little baby flat irons and I'm gonna do my edges. Side parts, less is more with me. I'm just gonna do a nice little swoop. I love a signature swoop, and I'm gonna do my sideburn. I'm curling those inwards, and then using my wax stick, I'm gonna mold those first. I don't know what it is about using the wax stick first. I don't know if the oil kind of combats humidity and stuff like that, but when I do this method, my edges last a very long time. So right here, this is my hair flat iron with wax stick. This is nothing else. And then I'm gonna go in with the Basque and lather, and I'm going to finish that off on top of the wax stick. You can also use a little bit of hairspray to help with the hold, but you want to keep your edges kind of soft. You don't want them too hard, you want them very natural, and that is what I go for. As far as the Basque and lather, I've been using it for about a month now, and I really like it. This is how my hair comes out after I've done everything. I absolutely love everything about this install. I think it's so natural and pretty. It just looks so effortless, and this is my go-to style, especially for the fall and winter. It just looks so nice and flattering, and I feel like it would flatter anybody. Side parts just make everyone look so uniform and put together. It's so girly and princessy. I love everything about it. As for this hair, at the time of this voiceover, I have installed this hair about 3 times, and I love this hair. It's super soft, it holds a curl really well, and it's nice overall. Like, CurlsQueen has some of the best hair in the game right now. I love everything about it. If you're interested in this hair, it will be in the description box below. Thank you, CurlsQueen, for sponsoring today's video. If you like what you've seen, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.
They ask,